Hey, everybody, it's Nat, speaking coach with Nat. I hope you are doing well today. So I've decided to go live because it is time to set the record straight on what you need to do to have a great talk, a great speech, a great presentation. And I think I'm going to use presentation for this live training today because essentially that's what we do, right? When I created my business, I said every opportunity is a speaking opportunity. How will you seize that moment or that opportunity that you have to speak? And lately, with all of my experiences, I've really been running into people who are working on keynote speeches, and we're really refining what needs to get done. We're really refining on what you actually need to make sure that you have a great talk. And I think it really boils down to the same thing. There's a foundation that you need to do a talk or a presentation. Let me stick to the same language. Is you need four essential things. So I would love you to stick around, listen to the four things that I'm proposing that you always have to make sure that you at least have a good foundation for your talk. And then once you have that, then you can extrapolate on other things that you want to. You can switch things around, get a little bit more creative. But if you're beginning or you're in the middle and you're still wavering, these four things are the four things that you need. Now, the first one for me is that you need clarity. If you are out there giving a talk because you want to state authority, you want to state credibility, then you need to be clear. And part of doing that is also what I call putting your language on a diet and removing all the crap that you're saying that means nothing. I mean, I remember having a boss, every other word was like, and you just lost the thread of even what he was talking about. Some speaking coaches say this is not a big deal, and I had one myself, and I tend to disagree to a certain degree, simply because we are human and we all do it. I'm not suggesting that you go free. I'm suggesting that you at least be aware of what you are saying and how you are saying it. And if you're wanting to land in a category of a Tony Robbins level and you want people to hang on to every word you say, don't jumble it up with all the crap that you're putting in between all those important words. I truly believe each and every one of us has something important to share with the world. The main question I ask my clients to get them thinking is, if you had a message to share with the whole world right now, what would that message be? What would you want to share with them? How would you make sure that they really heard your message? So clarity is key. And now I'm going to go right into clarity with the second piece, which is the framework. Too often, I think speakers are showing up and they want to put all this information into 10 minutes. You cannot possibly do that in 10 minutes if you have 10 things to say, because each point probably has value and you want to include it in your presentation. So what do? You really need to break it down to something as simple as have an introduction, have a body, and have a conclusion. And I know that might sound a bit juvenile and a bit high school, but at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. You need some clear structure in what you're going to talk about. Now, what you do within each piece of that structure, that's where you get creative. That's where you have fun with it. So the first part is really hooking your audience. I recently worked with some professional coaches who gave training to our TEDx speakers and our TED-Ed students. And one of the things he talked about was the big fat claim. What is the hook? What is the promise that you're going to make your audience on the day that you're speaking? You want to hook them in. Maybe you want to choose a piece of data. You want to use a quote. You want to use a fact, something that will make the audience go, oh, I need to hear more about this. Your introduction always is about what you're going to tell them. What are you going to talk about? It doesn't mean that you're listing it and you're going to say, today I'm going to talk about, my name is. No, we're not doing that because we're at the 2.0 level. But what you are doing is You are either introducing it with a story, you are introducing it with an example, an experience that is showing the audience what you're going to talk about. I know I'm making it sound maybe simpler than it is, or it is really simple. That's what it boils down to. When you've hooked them and you told them what you're going to talk about, now you're going to get into it. So you're going to have a point. You're going to share a story or an example. You're going to make a point. You're going to share a story or an example. You're going to make a point. You're going to share a story or an example. That is the foundation there. Now, can you get more creative with it? 100%. But if you're just starting out, we want to start simple. Okay? So you've hooked them. You've told them what you're talking about. And now you've talked about it, all your points, you made your examples, you've drawn them in. You are convincing your audience at this point of what is happening. And now you're sailing into the conclusion. And that conclusion is where you're wrapping it up with a bow. You're summarizing, you're asking the audience to take some action. And what I ask clients is, what is it that you want clients to think, feel, or do when your talk is over? That will dictate how you build your content. And that will be a video for another day. Okay? You've hooked them. You told them what you're going to talk about in the introduction. You talked about it in the body with your points and your examples. And then you told them, you wrapped it up and you summarized. So we've done the clarity. We've done the structure. The next point I want to talk about, the third point in my puzzle that I call, is your voice. What are you doing with your voice? Are you aware if you speak clearly? Are you aware if you sound monotone? Are you aware if, let's see, if you have a high pitch, low pitch? Is your voice varying? Do you speak loud enough? These are all crucial points if you want your audience to buy into who you are. It keeps them engaged. So be aware of what you do with your voice. And lastly, this one, I cannot stress it enough. Be intentional with how you move. Now I'm sitting down right now, so there's not a lot of movement I can do. I mean, I'm showing you my hands. I'm doing a bit of this. But this is probably one of the most important pieces. People seeing your face, you making eye contact, you showing facial expressions, being mad, being happy, being pensive, sad. You need to show your audience with your body what is going on in your presentation. I would love to know in the comments if any of this resonates with you, if you have questions, because I can't stress it enough that I am being hired by keynote speakers to help them with their presentations. And some of what's missing is just this foundation. Now we can get creative later, but get this foundation done first, and then we can move on to the next step. We're at like 1.5 right now. We want to move to 2.0, but we're at the 1.5 level, okay? So I'm going to end it here because I want to make sure that you can digest these pieces. There's 4 pieces. Clarity with your language, right? We want to make sure that you're clear, your message is understood. We want to make sure you have a good framework. We want to make sure that you're using your voice to conduct your message. And lastly, be intentional with your gestures. Drop your questions in the comments. Let me know what you think. I am happy to answer anything. And I want to know from you, how can I be of service? How can I be better of service to you? And if you want to have a call, please go ahead and book it through the Calendly link that's in the description. I'll be more than happy to chat with you. Whatever you choose to do, I hope you have an incredible day, and I'll see you soon in our next live stream. Bye for now.